I literally can never get my chair right.
Hey, what's up guys? Justin Ryder here. I'm a commercial real estate broker and content creator based out of Lexington, Kentucky. I built this channel for those of you trying to improve the sales life. And I will tell you, I get a lot of DMs from newer brokers who are asking, how do I ramp up? How can I make my initial year, let's say, really count? So if this is your very first year of brokerage, I'll be sharing 3 steps that I believe will allow you to crush this first year and will set you up for a successful career in real estate. Step number 1, don't go shallow. You should immerse yourself in this business. I don't know where you've been in your career or what you've done 100%, right? Like what you've said, I have sold out, gone all in. So in the past, if you've played sports or done an activity that required you to sort of be all in, that would be one example. But if you haven't done something like that before, and this is your first thing, you can't go shallow into this business. You have to go deep. You have to go all in. Now, the fastest way to get quantity and quality time immersed in commercial real estate has always been the same, because it's a hard business to learn and there's a pretty high barrier to entry, although it doesn't take a ton of money to get in, but time and maybe sacrifice from initial money. But the process for success has basically always been the same, and that's to find a mentor. And when I say that, I mean find a mentor who's been in the grind, right? In the trenches doing actual deals on a daily basis. You hear them having difficult conversations. Emergencies are popping up where they need to do something to get a deal closed for a client. They're constantly pitching. They're winning a lot, not always, but they're engaged in deal flow. That's the best person you can be around and someone you want to become a magnet to. And I feel a little guilty saying this because a mentor doesn't just fall into your lap, but it's about becoming someone that's mentorable. And a lot of what we're talking about, approaching work with energy and vigor and a love for it, a passion for it, an excitement to learn. All of those things make you mentorable and will attract mentors that want to be around that energy because it improves their work life as well and helps them get a vision for going further with you. Folks, they're out there. If you don't have someone like that in your life right now, it's not impossible to find someone. You just may not get the split that you want initially, and that's 100% okay in this first year. You want to buy yourself a ramp, right? You want to buy yourself staying power in the business so that you can learn it. That's how you're going to crush 2025. So what are you going to actually do for this person? I mean, you're going to take on the grunt work in some ways, which is good. You're going to get those reps of editing LOIs or redlining contracts, anything and everything when it comes to processing deals, data, watching dates. Like that's a great thing to do as an intern, is track every single date for the person. First of all, so you know when you might get a little chunk of something, but to be aware of the process. You're just building awareness of how deals work. I really like that idea. Build awareness of how deals work. So from all of this stuff, all of this research and being around this person, my hope is you would get 2,000 hours of deal flow experience. Actually, I need to look that up. Siri, how many working hours are in a year? So the hope is with this person that you get 2,080 hours of deal flow experience plus whatever you learn and study on the side. And that's where that real learning is going to happen and launch you. Okay, number 2, you want to begin to think of yourself as a master of your market data. And what does that mean? That's everything from the properties and the amount of them and who owns them and where they're laid out, where there could be future properties. That's all the way to what's happening in your community when it comes to employment and companies moving there or big economic activities. You basically want to become an encyclopedia of data for your market. Now, this is not easy and it takes time. It takes time to get your mind around what it means. Really and truly, you need a couple years because you see data in 1 year and it's like, okay, there it is. But it's the comparison, let's say, of units sold in Central Kentucky from 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And then you're able to start making predictions and that sort of thing. But you need to attempt to know your market better than anyone else, period. So that means you get your hands at the end of the day on accurate, up-to-date data. Who's buying, who's selling, the total amount of product, what's the market rent, and what trends are emerging around it. Now, this is a very important transition and one that I missed personally early on. That data and those owners need to get translated into a workable CRM. The CRM that you choose will likely be the one that your broker is using. And if they're not, if they're using Excel, you need to just buy a CRM yourself and start using it, filling it with really good data. It is basically the air traffic control for campaigns and marketing and prospecting that you're gonna do for the rest of your career. I waited way too long to get my air traffic control under my control and know how to command it. And I'm still figuring it out, right? One of the biggest questions that I get DM'd about and am still DMing people about is, what CRM do you use? And there are lots of choices out there, but the best ones will allow you to build smart lists, smart prospecting lists that make sense. Those can be provided to someone or they can be used by you to accurately prospect. Okay, so side note here, it really is more about curiosity than anything else. It's like, okay, what can be known about this market? There's levels of data. What level of data does everyone have? Okay, yes. That's in my local PVA comps. Like, so this is public info. Well, some people may not even look at it. And then what data could I gather by talking to people? Or what data can I get by scraping the city's building permits? And it goes on and on and on, but curiosity fuels you every day to think, wow, I want to be able to know there's 38,806 units in my county, and I have a handle on that data. Okay, step 3, we've discussed finding a mentor and going deep with that person in the deal flow. We've discussed that data is going to be the oxygen that fuels your career, and you should master your market. The third one is very fun for me. And let me remind you that you can do this in your first year, and that's begin to build your own brand. Of course, the truth about real estate, which many of you have heard, is it's not about who you know, but about who knows you. And that's beginning to establish my brand with actual people. Okay, by the way, there's a little bit of a caveat here before I get deep into this, and maybe some of you have felt this. Please drop me a comment if you have. But when you're new, you don't necessarily want to tell people, hey, I'm new. And the reason is because you're not going to get hired, right? So it is a very special mix of, yes, I'm new, but I'm serving, usually, hopefully you can say this, I'm serving on an expert team. And this expert team has come alongside me, I've come alongside them, and here's what we've accomplished together. Okay, so let's get into the meat of this. As you build your brand, I think there's 3 directions you can go that make a ton of sense early on. One is reach inward. And when I say inward, I mean into your own personal network. You might be doing commercial real estate where your family has existed, or where where you went to college and made a lot of connections. Great. Use that personal network. And a little tidbit might be send them a letter, in email and also snail mail that says, I'm incredibly excited about this opportunity and I wanted you to know what I'd be doing and what I'd be focusing on. That community may have connections for you now, or it may turn into connections in 3 years, right? You graduate from college, you're inevitably gonna have a friend who went to law school. Well, someday they might own a firm, and someday that firm might need office space. So you make those connections early on to just let people know, here's what I'm doing. Folks, people don't know what you do. You can do commercial real estate 6 years and people don't know what you do. And even if people do know what you do, even if they literally say, oh yeah, they're a commercial realtor, they don't know what a commercial realtor does. They don't know what it means to lease office space. They don't know what it means to sell a property based on cash flow, right? So you gotta start inward into your personal community and tell your friends, tell your family, tell your extended family, hey, this is what I'm doing and I'm excited to keep up with you. That leads me to outward. So you want to reach inward, you also want to reach outward and engage with new prospects every single day. So whether it's through social media, the best probably being phone calls, possibly emails in some way, shape, or form, you've got to put yourself out there to potential business prospects. All right, you're reaching inward, you're reaching outward. You also want to reach upward. And here's what I mean by that. You want to connect with community leaders. The buildings in your market don't exist in a vacuum, right? They are affected by the entire economy. So you want to meet with potentially politicians. You want to meet with ancillary services, lenders, attorneys, financial advisors, small business owners. See, all of those things sort of work together to affect the prices of the assets that you're actually going to be working on and selling. So if you're locked into a specific community, you don't just want to meet with owners of that community, in my opinion. You want to meet with leaders of the community that are making decisions that are going to affect your clients. Okay, so what could the results of that be? Okay, you go to your personal community and 100 people, you reach out to 100 people who are prospects, and you meet with 100 leaders in your community in some way, shape, or form. So let's say 300 people that you're targeting, and 5 of those, less than 2%, turn into maybe a specific deal that you can work on or work on with your mentor. Folks, that's staying power. That can provide you staying power. So in the midst of reaching out to all those, you're already starting to cement in people's minds that you are a commercial real estate warrior and you're gonna go the distance for your clients and that you have a personal brand in and of itself. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Your first year in commercial real estate is not about playing it safe. It's about immersing yourself, mastering your market, and building your brand. And if you do those things, you'll look back on your first year and realize that things started to fall into place, even if you didn't necessarily feel like it. So if you started in the recent past, or maybe this year is your first or second year and you're still a little new, go ahead, comment below, introduce yourself to the group. Would love to meet you and say hi and wish you the best of luck as you get out there and get immersed and make it happen. Friends, thanks for watching. We will catch you in the next video.